Welcome back to the Adonai Gameplay Animation Workshop. This is class overview number 7. Today we looked at importing animations and how we can change skeletal meshes so that we can start importing our own characters into our game. So I'm going to just go ahead and duplicate our previously owned character, and I'm going to name this changeable because this is going to be our character where we are going to be replacing this skeleton mesh with other skeleton meshes, for instance. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you guys how we can import things. Save this. Yes. Okay, so under the content browser, you can try and drag and drop things in here, and usually that is also going to work. But ideally, what you want to do is use this add import button, and then you can click on import to game. You can also just right click on the folder and then go for import to game. That's going to open your folder, and then you can find in your files. So I was given two separate animations and two separate skeletons today. One of them is made on the cat model and one of them is made on the biped. The difference being the cat model is rigged to the same dimensions, well, not dimensions, more like bone hierarchy as the Unreal model. So when you will be swapping it over, it is going to simply take over the previously existing skeleton without any issues. Whereas the biped one, that one is going to specifically only use the biped animation rig. So let's go ahead and import the biped animation rig. And the way you can do that is either you can import the base mesh or you can import any animation, and then as long as you have the skeleton mesh and import mesh clicked on, it's going to also import that specific mesh. Okay, so as you can see, like this is a brand new skeleton mesh and has a skeleton and everything. And now I can also go ahead and import the animation, which was idle garrison. Yep, this is the one. And this time, since I already have the skeleton imported, I'm not going to import the skeleton again. And here in the skeleton, I'm going to make sure I'm selecting the correct skeleton, the one that we just created or imported. So as long as we do that, we should be able to just open our file up, and as you can see, it's still playing our character animation. So let me go ahead and save all this. Okay, now let me import the other animation, which was made on the cat rig. And this animation in particular has a previously used skeleton, so we can just use the Unreal mannequin skeleton to import the mesh. So if I import it now, I should just be able to open it, and then it should have the idle animation working. Okay, now that you have your animation set up, we can go ahead and start putting these in the animation blueprint. So what I'm going to do is first the older character, I'm just going to go to the animation blueprint for this one, and in the idle slash walk, I'm just going to change it in the walk blend space. So earlier this used to be the idle animation, so I'm going to replace that. Let me go ahead and delete that, and then this is okay, and this is our brand new animation. And as long as I save this, the blend space automatically should get updated, so our animation should be using the brand new animation, or our character should be using the brand new animation, which it is. So the idle has changed, and it's still working fine with the rest of the things. Okay, so let me go ahead and so that was the cat rig that was imported in using a previously used skeleton. But how about we change the skeleton on our new character? This is the changeable character. This is the one where we're going to use a different skeleton. So we have multiple skeletons here. I could use this particular skeleton, which is the weapon one, but I'm supposed to use skeleton base mesh to use bow. Okay, yeah, this is the one that's on my folder. And as you can see, there is no animation blueprint for it in particular. But if we use an animation asset, we can still have this character here. So I can put it here. Let me just go ahead and put that in the level blueprint as well. That way I can have a reference to it. Replace that real quick. Obviously it doesn't have any walk animations attached to it, and it's just using an animation asset. But like you can see, it is using a different skeleton now, which is why the animation is working. So now that you have this, the way you can go by making sure that there's an animation blueprint for this is the same way you did animation blueprints the first time. So you create an animation blueprint, but this time you select the new skeleton, and then you can say ABP changeable. Alright, so as you can see, it doesn't have anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the older animation blueprint, which is right here. I'm going to copy all this, and I'm going to paste all my code. And the good thing about Unreal is as long as the code is copied exactly, then like it should prominently work. The only thing that has changed is like all these variables that you can see here. These variables, these are not, they're grayed out, so you need to make sure these variables are created. So you can right click on them and then just click create variable for each of them, and that should fix all the issues. If I compile it, okay, I'm getting the error now because this character blueprint reference is for playable character Pratt instead of playable character Pratt changeable. So what I can do is either I can go here and get the object reference type, change variable type, or okay, I do that, break link here. Okay, I guess I should probably just remove these. Get, compile this real quick. Crouch. So yeah, you can either swap the variable type from here, but since it already exists in a blueprint, it's going to do a full scan of it. Or you could have just dragged out another return value from here and promoted that to a variable. Okay. Alright, now all this is done. Now all I gotta do is make sure the animations are here. So let's go to the anim graph. I'm also going to copy over the state machine. So here our state machine, I'm going to make sure I break these links for now, because I'm going to leave these animations in, but since they're rigged to a different skeleton, like this prone to stand animation, it's rigged to the SK mannequin. It's not rigged to the biped, which is why when we compile it, it's not going to work. So I have disconnected all of them for now, and instead of having this blend space, I'm just going to use the idle animation. Okay, compile. Alright, so you can see all these errors that are arising because of different blend spaces. If you see inside each of them, those are the errors. So it's not going to let our blueprint run. So let me just get rid of all of them. Okay. So we have our code working fine. We just don't have the animations for it, but once we do, we can just create the same kinds of transitions that we did before with the same kind of blend space. Right. That means we can go ahead and instead of using the animation asset here, we can open it up, go to the mesh, and instead use animation blueprint and actually select the changeable one. Compile, save. So yeah, right now this is a new skeleton and it's using the animation blueprint. Even though the material on it is same, I guess I can make a material change on here too. I'll just duplicate this. Also name this change. And here I'll just make it, let's go with purplish. This is purple, purple. Okay. Right. And yeah, that's about all we learned for today.